Okay, before we move on to figure 4, notice the last paragraph under 8. I think it's just interesting. It says that the width of the damage path, this was talking about the Tuscaloosa Birmingham tornado, the path at its widest point was 1.5 miles, and this monster tornado produced massive destruction. Jeff Morrow of the Weather Channel was actually in Birmingham reporting debris that was seen in the air, and the debris had actually come from Tuscaloosa, so it had been carried all the way over to Birmingham in the tornado. All right, so flipping to the next page. Although the Tuscaloosa Birmingham tornado may become the most noted storm in the outbreak for its destruction of the two cities and related death toll and the amount of damage in buildings and dollars, another tornado in that vicinity was even more powerful. Okay, figure 2, remember, from the first portion of the investigation also displays the beginning portion of a very destructive tornado track coded dark red in the upper left corner of the central Alabama map. Okay, let's go find what they're talking about. They're talking about this, I think, right here. Okay. That damage path continued into northern Alabama as shown in figure 4. The most devastating tornado was termed the Hackleburg tornado for its initial touchdown in a small town just south of Phil Campbell in north central Alabama, near the southwestern end of the track shown in figure 4. Okay, so this starts and then moves, and we continue to track it right here. Okay. All right, and they say dark red, but for me, this right here looks like red, and this looks more like purple, but this is the path that they're talking about, this one that started just to the southwest of Phil Campbell. Okay, so the long dark red track, really it's a purple track, on the figure 4 map identifies it as the damage path of an EF what? An EF 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Okay, and that is dark purple, and dark purple goes with an EF5 tornado. That is the most powerful and destructive. The severe weather report on this tornado from the Huntsville, Alabama National Weather Service Forecast Office provided the following information. Obviously, event type, tornado, there's the date, estimated peak wind speed, 210 miles per hour, preliminary rating, EF5, total path length. So this tornado was on the ground and covered 132.1 miles. At its maximum width, it was 1.25, 1.25 miles wide, starting and ending latitude and longitude. Start time and end time was there also. Okay, number 10, the movement of the Hackleburg tornado was generally towards the, what? It started here and moved this way, which is towards the northeast. Number 11, according to the Huntsville National Weather Service report, the one I just read and the one that you should be looking at as you look at this figure, peak wind speeds in the tornado were estimated to be, well, it says estimated peak wind was 210 miles per hour. This wind speed qualified it as an EF5 tornado. Based on the elapsed time while the tornado was on the ground and its length of travel, we conclude it was traveling at about what speed? Okay, well, it covered 132 miles in, let's see, 305 to 520. Okay, so it covered 132 miles in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And so you take 132 divided by basically 2.25, and your best choice out of the ones you're given is the 60 miles per hour. So this particular tornado was moving along the ground at 60 miles an hour, which is, highway speeds for a car. Plus, it's spinning counterclockwise at up to 210 miles per hour. Such fast movement would have left residents in a rural area having few roads with little ability to avoid its winds unless tornado sirens or an NOAA weather radio had provided adequate warning time. So this is something that really, for these people in the rural area where you're not going to have tornado sirens a lot of times, this is going to just happen with very little to no warning. And this is an EF5 tornado. And remember, you can have some differences in destruction depending on what side of the tornado path you wind up on. If you're on the side where the forward speed of the tornado, which is about 60, plus the spinning speed of the tornado, if you're on the side that those two are adding together, you're in really bad shape. Even though it's going to be destructive either way you go. But that does help to explain, again, why there are some differences in damage levels from the same tornado in the same area. Okay, well, that concludes Investigation 11B. I hope you learned a little bit about tornadoes and hopefully think they're interesting enough to keep studying.